stream. We are back. I really wanted to sing that in the like and be our guest melody. Anyway, we're not gonna go there. Yeah, so I like left extremely abruptly last night because the eldest woke up, but now we're back for now. I did not run yet today. I am just going to I gotta go pick up Dallas at like 7 o'clock tonight, so I'm gonna go pick up the kids a little bit earlier than normal and head in the city and go for a run with them. It's a 4.5 mile run, so it's not too, and it's not any like speed work or anything like that, so it's not too bad. But yeah. One moment, I'm just posting the link and then we'll really get into this. All right, so yeah, the eldest woke up like 11:30 or something like that last night. So what I did instead of wrapping up down here is I actually took the Kato bags upstairs and clipped probably, I don't know, well over 20 of them. So that's good. And now we're gonna go in and we're gonna like sew these other things. Yeah, so when I say that I'm gonna leave a little bit earlier, I mean that I'll probably head out around 4:15, 4:30, and pick up the kiddos so that we actually have time to go do this run, because it's supposed to take about an hour. Since I'm pushing the stroller, it'll probably take a little bit longer, but sorry, I'm just going to turn on the exposure here a little bit now that my light's on. It's still like, oh my god. There. Yeah, so I'll head out earlier today. I was like, honestly though, that's the least disruptive time to be doing it. And yeah. It's just like I'm like so not motivated to run right now. I'm barely motivated to sew right now. The only thing that's like keeping me at the machine is really the okay, actually no, that's a lie. I am motivated to run if I didn't have to do so much damn sewing. Yes, I know that's a self-created issue. Cat problems, remember? If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, Cat Problems is based on a book by Jory John. If you know about this, well, you've heard this story multiple times. Anyway, Cat Problems is a book by Jory John. It's like a children's book, and this cat's going around, and it's all like dry food. I wanted wet food, not dry food, wet food. And so, like, when I say cat problems, that's kind of thing that I'm talking about. What the hell just happened there? It's like, all right, now you're going to be very, 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 very dark. No exposure for you at all. There we go. The other cat being in its spot and like getting dry food instead of wet food and blah 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 blah. So like, it's a problem that affects. It doesn't even barely affect me, right? So anyway, motivation though is definitely to run, but we're sewing instead because we have Peace Fibre Festival breathing down our necks. I've got 3 sewing days left, and we're gonna see what we can get done because gotta get it done, and that's fine too. Just grumping. Cat problems. Anyway, Dallas is home tonight, so that's good because he'll be able to take the kiddos. Although realistically, I did actually get quite a bit of work done last night. In that, I did get a lot of those Kato clipped, which was nice. And then I'm going to go in and we're going to like pretty much, I think we'll end up being able to mostly sew them today, I think. Okay, I'm missing 2 of these did not get tagged, which makes sense. The first one and that there's one in the middle that didn't get tagged. For cotton, I'm gonna go in and finish up the cotton linen, or the side of the cotton linen blends at least. And then we'll go in and start the Oh, right. I discussed the fact that we need to actually do the, no, we'll do the Kato. Because I was like, we need to iron the small box bags and the handles for them. But we also need to iron the Kato because we need to get the labels onto them. So we'll do that afterwards. By the way, I figured out that my mic is actually fucking magnetic. I don't know why I didn't clue into that, because that's how okay. They like clip in, like they go tunk into the case, but I just assumed that that was like they were just charging through the little contact pads that they have in it. But no, it's actually magnetic, because I was like taking it off last night and I'm like, oh God, I broke my mic because the piece slipped off. Because, you know, why not? That would have been a good way to end the day. Sarcasm. Anyway, no, it's magnetic. And I'm like, yes, because that means that I don't have to worry, like, oh my God, I'm saying like so much. Whatever. We're still caffeinating right now. Anyway, it means that I can actually position it better for talking. So instead of like having to clip it up here and feeling like I'm constantly brushing my neck against it, it's just clipped to where it needs to be on my shirt. So excited. Means that my, like, it's a lot less restrictive about what kinds of shirts I should be wearing and stuff like that too, which is super nice. Not that I really made that or allowed that to, not that that changed anything, I guess, but you know, it's nice that I'm actually able to position it correctly on all of my wardrobe instead of just a selection of my wardrobe. Saying this like I wear anything different downstairs consistently. Oh no, what happened? What? Why? Oh, because we're fucking out of thread. Okay, well. And I do need to go, actually that is one thing I need to do for the small box bags, is I need to go in and watch the video from that has the new turning technique, because there was something I realized this morning I needed to figure out. We are going to do the other side of these seams, but what we're going to do is we're going to do it after we do this, or we're going to do it before we do the small box bag, the second zipper seam on the small box bags. That's where I'm getting. Where are we going? I don't know. Into the woods, maybe. It feels like. Okay, fine glue. Jesus, it's like I'm gonna fall over consistently. Okay, bobbin, thread. I was looking at my stats this morning and I was like, wait, there's like more click-throughs than I anticipated. I'm like, I didn't realize that OdaFest posted a, oh God. Dude, you gotta thread the needle for this to work. Anyway, I hadn't realized that OdaFest posted a vendor list, but I'm getting like a bunch of click-throughs from it right now. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, one per day, but it's better than nothing. I think that's actually better. Well, no, I was going to say, I think that's better than Knit City. But no, Knit Social does have quite a click-through rate. So I'm thinking that I should still go and film Dawson. I'm going to chat with Dallas tonight or this, on the drive up or something and figure out if I should go in and do a live stream or not. Because, you know what? As much as it's like super cool to go do Knit City and like these big shows and stuff like that, the little shows are also where it's at, to be honest. So if I do decide to do that, I will have enough time to let you all know and we'll figure it out. I would need Dallas's participation in this, so that's why I need to chat with him before I like super commit to it. And if you are in Dawson and looking to come buy anything, but you're like, oh my God, I love something on the website, I'm going to offer pickup at the event. You can use PFF, capital P, capital F as in Foxtrot, capital F as in Foxtrot, pickup, PICKUP, and that'll get you free shipping, and you can pick up at the event. Now, if something happens and you don't end up being able to pick up at the event, we will arrange a separate invoice for shipping later on. So, I rarely get pickups from events, but I'm like, yeah, we'll offer it anyway, because why not? You never know. Don't know what you don't know. Anyway, we're almost through the notions pouches, which is excellent. I'm just like, there's a lot of sewing to be done in the next 2 days. 3 days. So I will be back on tonight. We'll see what we get done tonight. The youngest does have a hearing test appointment tomorrow. Dallas will be taking them, but that means that the eldest will be in, so I won't be streaming all day. I will do a partial day as best I can, and then I'll be back on in the evening. And then Friday is just, oh, and I've got my long run tomorrow too. I finally told the program, I'm like, all right, I did not do my long run on Monday. And they're like, then you are going to do it tomorrow. And I'm like, ugh. I was hoping they would let me skip it. And it's like, haha, joke's on you. No skipping. Anyway. So, that's tomorrow. That's fine. Don't know how to do it with the kids. That's the big thing. It's just, like, this weekend was just not it. And then they have been feral. They were so feral yesterday. They were both extremely excited to go to school today. As was I that they were going to school. Oh. Just, like, straight into it. No fight. Just like, oh, yeah, fuck, we're here. Let's go. Which is awesome. It means that they adore their school too, so that's good. Although, yeah, the teacher opened up the door and they're like, said to the eldest, they're like, your friends are waiting for you today, and it's like, oh, yay. Birthday invites have gone out for the youngest, which is exciting. Which is good too, because apparently there's some kiddos that aren't there right now, so that gives them a little bit extra time to get the invite. Because here's the thing, even though we've invited a number of children, there's like 8 on the list. There's actually 9, but one has already said no because they're at someone else's birthday party. Well, at the mom's grandma's. So, yeah, it's like, all right. So there's a no there already, which Dallas is having kittens about how many kids and parents there's going to be. And I'm like, well, you got an extrovert of a child, so sorry. Not sorry. It's good. All right. So they're all chain pieced here, so we're just going to go back down the other side. We will leave it. What I'm doing is I'm leaving a turning hole on the side here, and then we'll birth it through that, and then close them up on Friday. Because you know that Friday is for finishing. Finish Fridays. Finishing Fridays. Finishing Fridays. By the way, local yarn store day and independent bookstore day is this Saturday. So make sure to, if you can afford to, or you've been looking for something, make sure to support your locals that day. I know that we all, as small businesses, very much appreciate it. And no judgment if that is just not what you're able to do right now. I get that too. And I'm like, now that the kids aren't treating me as a human jungle gym anymore, and I can actually not worry too much about poking out an eyeball, it's kind of like, all right, well, what do I want to knit? And because I was not a monogamous knitter before the kids. So I've got a lot of like socks on the needles and stuff like that. I have one sweater leering at me that I should finish, actually. I think that would feel really good, is getting it done. But it's also on the sleeve, so it's just boring. I also need cake winder. So that, because I want to re-knit the calligraphy cardigan by Hannah Fettig. It's one of my, like, it was one of my first sweaters. I really like the shape of it. I love the collar on it. It's very dramatic. But I have a bunch of fit issues with it because it is one of my first sweaters. So this was before I knew that my, like, I had a long torso. So it fits really well on the torso. And the sleeves fit decent, but they're really tight around the upper arms. So I need some extra stitches in the upper arm. Just stuff like that. Just some tweaks. It's not bad, but I don't wear it as much as I would like because it's not as comfortable as I would prefer. And obviously I'm not wearing it while I'm sewing and stuff because the knit fabric loves, adores to hold on to like every single freaking string. I've worn like commercial knit, not like this kind of knit, but like a chunkier kind of proper knit, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I've worn a hoodie down here and it's of that style and it still has threads in it. Even, I don't even know how long it's been. It has been a couple years and there's still threads in it. I'm like, all right, that is not a sewing studio appropriate clothing item. And so I don't wear a lot of sweaters down here because that. But I like to have the sweaters for the fiber events. So, okay, these ones are gonna have to. The ones that are missing their tags are gonna. I'm gonna have to put them in to where we do the turning seam because there is no room otherwise. That's fine. Won't be the first time. Won't be the last time. And again, as is always true of these ventures, the prep work takes far longer than the actual sewing work. It's like, all right then. Did I just... Ah, shit. Katie. Finish this one and then we'll fix that strawberry one. But I 100% just like completely bulldozed over it and sewed the whole seam. You know, not the end of the world, just annoying. Okay, so we'll open it up there, and then we'll go in and just tack it down again. So I finished Daisy Jones and the 6 last night, and oh my god, does Taylor Jenkins Reid know how to finish her stories? Holy shit. You wouldn't think that there could be much of a twist with a like contemporary story. There's totally a twist in this one. It's kind of the same as so Taylor Jenkins Reid also wrote The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I also adore. I only gave it 3 stars when I like originally read it, but I have much fonder memories of it than that. So I think I need to like re-listen to it or something, because I remember it being, I would rate it like 3.5, 4 stars. Probably 4. I definitely rated Daisy Jones as 4 because it was just really good. But anyway, so I got that one finished. I've got a whole bunch of other ones lined up because, especially tomorrow afternoon with kiddo here, I'll end up listening to a lot of an audiobook. Oh, right, and I actually did move into, I was like, I started a new one. What did I start? But I started Spark of the Neverflame, which I think is slightly spicy, but not like insanely spicy. It's definitely otherworld romance, fantasy. I'm enjoying the concept so far. I'll see what I think in a little bit though, so don't quote me on it. What was the book that I was reading that is like, there's been no spice so far? This is a few weeks ago now, and then it was like, as soon as I said that, pretty much, I got off the stream, and it was like 2 minutes later, and it's like, oh, there it is. Never mind. Anyway, I think Spark of the Neverflame is slightly spicy. At least, like, it's adult. It's not smut, though. Or, yeah. I'm not a banana. Yeah, actually, this will be what I bring. Hopefully Dallas can drive home, and I can turn these while he's driving us home. And then there'll just be time to, like, do the finishing seams on Friday. If I don't get them turned today, that's not the end of the world. That would be a nice little bonus time if he can drive home. He might be really tired, though, so I'll hold on those plans if I need to. Because, like, I want to sleep in on Wednesday and, like, without the kids in the bed and blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, no. And, like, and then go for my run when I get up sort of thing. But then I remembered that Wednesday next week is the last, well, no, second last long run. And I'm like, damn it. If I don't get up and do it, it'll just be, like, hanging over my head. So, like, I want to do that on Friday. Just, like, sleep until I wake up, more or less. And then run, and then hang out and watch anime. So, next week is going to be a re-entry week. I'm not doing much on work or anything like that. Probably what I should do if I was smart, which sometimes I am, is tidy up the studio. And maybe, I think that's actually what I'll do. I'll get, like, some of the little details that I didn't have, or didn't take the time to finish up. In what, like March, February, and I'll wrap up some of it. Like, so get the table in the middle cleared off, because we're going to go into, as much as I've got these bags to wrap up on, we are going to be going into another cut session for Knit City, especially dependent on, like, what sells at Dawson Creek and Odafest. But we need to also decide on Obi bags. Like, there is work to be done. So I think it'll be a gentle, like, tidy up, chill. Also don't want to take all the time to work because Dallas is on vacation. So trying to kind of balance the two, get some work done, get ramped for Knit City. Maybe I'll do, like, probably what we'll end up doing is we'll do the test runs for the zip and grip and that little embroidery case and shit like that. Because I think the zip and grip would be a really good one also to have for Odafest. So higher end, it is a more expensive product because it's going to be work, and I'm not going to undercut the other makers that are currently making it, but yeah, I still think a good one. I got reminded that the other good thing that I should do, or the other thing I should do, is some dice trays, and they're not specifically just dice trays. Actually, what I was thinking of them for was that, like, just trays, and then but they're snap up and snap down, fold up, fold down trays. And because those would be really good for, like, crafting as well, for, like, these snaps, clips and shit like that. So I need to repackage or package. I figured out a cool little, like, hang tag sort of tag situation for the grime guards. So that's something I'll take up and work on. Probably actually on Saturday night. Need to make sure that I've got enough barcodes for everything, which I should, but I'll print more just in case. I did find the box of barcodes at least, because that was something that I was like at Shindig, like, where's the box of barcodes? Ducks need to be caught a little bit better over the zipper here, it looks like. So actually I'm going to do that right now, because whatever, who cares? Repairs before finishing. Not even repairs, just solidifying the seam here. Didn't quite catch the lining on the one side. There we go. And then we're just gonna pull across and go down this side. Yeah, and I have leftovers today because I did actually cook cauliflower soup last night. And then, yeah, I don't know. We're just going to tick along today, hopefully. Should finish. The Sneaky Kanji Cat Mini actually ended up having a defect on the one side, so what I should do is go in and just finish it. That'll probably be the only mini that we finish this week. It is the only mini that we're going to finish this week, but we do have a stack of them to finish now for Odafest as well, which is nice. And we do still have quite a few that are like prepped and just waiting. Which again, it's worked out well. I know it's overcommittal and we haven't gotten everything done. But honestly, it's been nice to just come into the studio and be like, all right, here we go. Yes, there's been some dithering about that recently. But I always have dithering. It doesn't matter. At least this is cut and it's just like I can sit down and be like, all right, this is what we're doing, I think. Or I can get distracted by the ooh shiny, as I did with these. Hey, Wendy! Sorry for the extremely abrupt leaving last night. It was just like, holy shit, this kid. But I got the cut. I took, oh, fuck me. Just totally, like, went straight down that seam, and we need an opening. Anyway, yeah, it was like, child. You probably heard it. No. Anyway, I took the Kato upstairs last night, and I got about 23 of them clipped in, so I'm like, okay, that's decent at least. Finished my audiobook, which I wasn't sad about because it was a really good audiobook. Now we've got the Notions pouches wrapped. We'll just go in, and so what'll end up happening is I have to trim everything down, and everything like has to be turned. But we've got them. Look at them. Look at them all. A nice little flag pennant bags of Notions pouches. All right. Yeah, I know. I'm still not. Okay. The big thing is it's like last year they were sleeping until like midnight, 1 a.m. And it's like, okay, so at 1 a.m. I should be going to bed anyway. 11:30 in a show push is too early. Whatever. It's all good. Okay. Actually, speaking of that. Oh, no. Never mind. So I think we should finish up on these guys. So I think we've got 19 or 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, 19 bags to finish. Sweet. Doing pretty good. I'm going to actually leave those snaps out right here because we can just reuse them. And then we'll sew. Oh shit! I was supposed to go into small box bags and finish their zippers. Yeah, whatever. We'll do the Kato. We'll clip the Kato, sew the small box bag zippers, sew the Kato, because they both need to go under the iron for ironing. And then we'll go in and do the ironing today. I think that's probably where we might get more done than that, but like I'll be happy if that's where we kind of end up. Yeah, I've got an actually really good variety. I've got a lot of spring ones. I've got some more demure ones, and like, look at the strawberries. Strawberries are always good. You can't see the strawberries. One second, let me move me. Realistically, you don't need to look at that clip bin. Bloop. There we go. Now you can actually see the desk. And it looks like we could probably put the exposure up a little bit more again. There we go. Hi. And we'll zoom out the rest of the way because we're working here, kind of. Or do you know what? Instead of you staring at me, let's look directly at the fabrics. Yay! Success! All right. These ones are getting black, and we need the red D-ring tabs. So basically what I did is I just carried up my whole little like kit. It actually worked really well. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Now, there's the ruler. Got some more of the labels trimmed down. I don't know if we need to go in and do like apply more interfacing to the back of the labels, but I'll figure it out. I don't know yet. Yes, I did do. Wait. Was I supposed to get black polypro? Right? Seriously, look at me go. I don't have black polypro up there. I have more black cotton. I've got like a full roll almost of black cotton, and I know I got a full roll of natural. I know, right? Actually being like organized. And then I used another flat tray for more for the D-rings, so that I didn't have to bring the whole tray upstairs. Some days. The little things. It's the little things. Most days. All days. Should be the little things all days. Okay, there we go. I know that, yeah, we restocked on the pink polypro. Now I'm going to be annoyed until I actually look at the webbing, but we're not looking at the webbing until I'm like done, or next time I get up for like a break. That's when we'll look at the webbing and figure it out. I've got, but whatever, it doesn't matter for these ones because I do have enough polypro for all of these because I've already clipped them, or cut them. Actually, I've already cut them, all the little tabs for all of them, so we're good there. In the bags, into the bags we go. I don't know why it's so cold down here today. In the like positives right now. I really debated if we were going to finish these up again because I was like, well, we've already got like a lot, and we've got a few, like we actually did end up finishing almost 25 for Ancient Arts the other day. It was pretty good, all things considered. But then I was like, no. We'll at least attempt to finish all 40 of these. 44, 43, 45. I have the Obikato on board. They are clipped. Their interiors are ready, so I have zero excuse for not finishing them this round. So, yay. They're like at the bottom of the pile, but we'll flip the pile even. It's just so that they get done. So the next step after, we'll do the side seams, and then the step after that we'll do is we'll go in and put the labels on, because we have to put the labels on. Otherwise it's like too, there's too much fabric in the way with the interfacing. Heck, I don't even know if they'll adhere through the canvas, but they better. They better. Well, they did on the denim, so canvas should be actually even easier. Just it has to happen now instead of like when they're basically done. Yeah, I know, these fucking zipper pulls. Although then someone else actually posted they got YKK zipper pulls in Japan, and they ended up with our black zipper pulls. I don't know if they're number 5 or number 3, but I messaged them that this was an Instagram story, and I was like, oh, there they are. Oh, you got them. Fuck. So fucking annoying. It's like, here's, again, it doesn't, like, the other portion of this is it's like, okay, so they're late. They're going to be late. We understand that. But message me, or email me after the 3 to 5 day period and just be like, okay, these are going to be delayed, like, till next week. That's actually what I'm more annoyed about right now, is the lack of communication. Should have canceled the order and just like reordered, because it probably would have been faster, to be honest. Oh yeah, it was hilarious. Because she's looking for gold. And I was like, there's my zipper pulls. Because they're even the ones with the donut ends. Annoying. Annoying. Oh well, what are you going to do, right? So, boop. I know, right? 5 fucking months. So apparently the current turnaround time is about 3 to 5 weeks. It has been 3 weeks since I emailed them last. So like, they should at least, at minimum, be on their way. Actually, you know what? I'm annoyed enough that I'm going to email them again and be like, hey, hi. This is part of your job. Fucking get them to me. Done. Emailed. Not that I'll know if they email me back, so seriously. At least, or like, hell, I'd be happy with like a shipping refund or something like that. Even my stuff that comes from like China for the zippers and the zip pulls there doesn't take this long. And that's with the cheap shipping. You can wish and dream, right? It makes me hesitant because I'm like, I do need to make some more zipper orders now. And I'm like, ooh. But those zipper pulls are worth it. That's the problem. Okay. These geisha, should they get the iridescent or should they get just should they get the gold color? Usually I would go with the gold color. But the iridescent looks really good and it picks up the purples and the obi. So iridescent. And I'm pretty sure this is supposed to have navy tabs. Yeah, that looks right. Oh. Oh, shit. Okay, well. Dallas won't be in until 9. Fuck. Okay, well, I guess the kids are falling asleep in the truck. Okay. So what does that mean for us? That means that I don't have to pick them up early today. We'll go in. Okay, yeah. I was actually thinking about taking them to, like, we have a place called Sushi Boat in Calgary. It's not amazing sushi, but it's fun because it's on little boats that go by the table. Anyway, I was really considering taking them in for that. And now, since I'm, like, going for my run, sushi is an excellent pre-run food. So I don't have to pick them up early. We'll go in, we'll have sushi. We'll drive down, and I'll go for my run, and then I'll punt them onto the playground. And then we'll change into, like, PJs. And go pick up Dallas, and then they can fall asleep in the truck. Yay! Or have dinner here. Yeah, come home and have dinner. Save the money for Dawson and yarn and fabric. Because we'll have to eat. Well, you don't have to eat on the road, but it is easier. Yeah, okay, come home, eat, run on the treadmill, then I don't have to push them. Still go to the playground, and then change them into PJs and go into the city. There we go. I don't know. We'll do something. It does ease up my day a little bit. It still sucks, though. It's also, like, very different timing from I'll be home at 7 to I'll be home at 9. It's a good thing. Well, okay, I was going to say, that's a good thing that they're not itty-bitty anymore, but honestly, in some ways, when they're itty-bitty, you just, like, put them in the car seat, and all right, we're off. I'm not trying to discount. Newborns are tough. But honestly, that first 4 months when you could just kind of like pack them up and fuck off with them and like they had no opinions about what you were doing, there's some glory in that as well. There are some major drawbacks in that phase though too. So I'm not trying to make light of it, but I did appreciate that I had 2 very easy car babies too. They both loved to go for like car naps and drives. They still mostly like to go for drives. All that jazz. Anyway. Crepe cats, crepe cats, crepe cats. And I also have a message that I can't see on my phone. Oh, okay. It's like the message from Dallas was unread. I guess it was, actually. La, la, la. Also make sure, yeah, so I have a late coffee today again. So if I'm late exercising, that'll help. Ooh, we can have Ichiban. Just like super simple noodles for dinner tonight. There we go. They'll like that. I could still technically come in for a run. I could cook them noodles before I go pick them up because that takes like 8 minutes. Yeah, that might be the way to do it. 8 minutes because I would do 2 pots of noodles. Yeah. Instant ramen, instant ramen. Gold or black? It's like black probably. Gold doesn't. It's a cooler fabric and the gold is a little bit warmer. Black. Okay. And then I can't remember what the pull tabs or the D-ring tabs are supposed to be for this. Was it sand? It might be sand actually. Yeah, that looks. And if it's not, well. Or if it wasn't, whatever it is now. It's not like we're sewing all these right now anyway. And if you're like, Katie, what about the tote bags? I don't know what's happening there yet. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. My plant's perked up, by the way, which I'm very glad for. I probably need to give them some water, actually, which is part of it. The youngest punctured a hole in the plastic the other day. I was less than impressed. Because it's staying at the back of our couch. We've got like our couches rearranged right now a bit. And it's staying at the back of the couch and they're climbing on the couch. So I was already not impressed by the couch climbing. And then they like grabbed the greenhouse and tore the plastic. I'm like, child, this is why like I told you not to climb on the couch so you don't hurt yourself. And so that you don't hurt the stuff or damage the stuff. Because of course they love to do it against the picture window. And I'm like, I can't even imagine the cost of replacing the picture window. I don't want to imagine the cost. Anyway. It'll still mostly work. What I should do is probably take some packing tape to it and just tape it up so that it still is like a sealed, mostly sealed greenhouse. That would probably help. So, ooh, that teal with these iridescent ones like looks spectacular. Yeah. Bloop. Yeah, when the eldest came down, they were like trying to give me shit of like for not going upstairs right away. I want to cuddle with you, but I want you. And I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be working. we go. All right. Right? Seriously. I'm assuming that's to the, like, picture window replacement. We don't even want to think about it. It's like, guys, stop climbing on the back of the... Well, okay, actually last night was the worst because it was just, like I said, they were, like, squishing each other under the couch cushions and, like, not intentionally trying to suffocate each other, but coming very close to suffocating each other. So I actually did put them into timeout yesterday, mostly for me. But I was like, you have been at each other's throats all day. The ferality. Oh, yeah, we discussed that last night. I'm not going to go back into it. They were in a really good mood this morning. I was like, okay. Apparently, they both had an amazing sleep. It was like no fighting to get them out the door. So that was good. I was like, oh, okay. Both ready to go to school. Excellent. We're definitely a little bit later dropping off, and I was like, no, but oh well. What am I going to do tonight when they're sleeping? Depends on how far we get today. So Dallas is home now, so he can take care of them tonight. I think it's going to be... Hopefully we have all of these together and we'll work on the interiors for the Kato and the wedging for the small box bags. That's what I'm aiming towards. I should have done pink for this one, but did I do purple? Ooh, purple would still look good even if I didn't. Yeah, purple. Let's do it. Hello, purple. I probably intended navy, but that's boring. Boring. Let's do purple with some iridescent tabs. Bloop. Oh, I know, right? Like, what am I going to do with... I'm like, literally, I am sitting at my sewing machine. I think it's that concept of like, you're an adult, you gotta be doing something super cool at night, right? So that's why I took the Kato upstairs and worked on clipping them last night. So it did work out, but I was annoyed. I was like, come on. But yeah, no, totally. I think it was a situation of like, well, you're older than me. You must be like up partying and having all this fun. And it's like, no, I'm sitting at my sewing machine talking to people on the internet, which is not a concept that you will understand yet. But what's twice as loud? Having like the second kid? I would argue that that's like, what is it that I saw? It's like having one child is having one child, having two children is like having three children, and having three children is like having a tornado or hurricane and 50,000 disasters all in one day. Oh. Yeah, I know. Nope, we're done at 2. We're done. No more. No more. Okay, these little guys have a little red collar. I think we should lean into the little red collar. Again, I don't think that was the plan originally. I think we should do red collar and do a black pull tab, D-ring tab. This is technically, or the D-ring. Or is that too much? Black would also look really good. Do you know what? Let's just go with black. And then the red of the collar is the only pop of color. Yeah, okay. And that's the only pop of color. Okay, we're down to like 9 more, including this one. So that's pretty good. How far are we in? We're not even an hour in, and we've already got the notions pouches like 2/3 sewn, 2/3 done. And we're nearly done clipping the Kato. So after this, we'll sew the kato, and then we'll sew the remainder of the zippers into, like, the other half of the zipper into the small box bags. And then we'll move on, and then ironing. Iron, iron, iron. And then if we have so this fabric has been around. I've been buying this fabric since I started buying fabric in Japan. There we go. Almost 10 years. In various colorways and everything like that. So I was super happy to see that they still had other colorways of it. It's like, yes, it's one of my favorites. There's actually, speaking of that, this is the OG one that I bought. Look at it. It's like teal, and then the cat has a little purple pop collar, and then yeah, so they got like, this is just a little notions pouch, but look at it. So that was the first one that I bought in colorway. What else? I've had a couple other colorways. I think purple. I feel like purple was one of the other colorways, but the white is really cool because it is like the black cat just on the white is like so stark. It's super cool. Love it. All right, you need navy and gold or black. Gold or black. Black. I'm going to need to actually get some more D-rings after this round, I think. Yeah, especially the black ones. That weird like fever blister, hand, foot, and mouth blister. I don't know why I had one, but I had one on each index finger. It's like almost growing out. And I'm like, thank God. Weirded me out. It's weird. I am very much right now debating applying for a big Christmas show up in Edmonton. Dallas is home, so that's not a factor. But I don't know. I don't know if Christmas markets are where it's at. Granted, this is one that's been going for like decades. But I've heard extremely mixed reviews about it too. And I'm like, I don't know yet. I need to decide like now. I'm pretty sure that technically like the main decision making is happening like next week, or starting next week. But I'm like, I don't know. It's also like a 4-day show. So if it was in Calgary and Dallas was home, I would have no issue applying for it. But it's in Edmonton, so there's like the cost factor of the show itself, the potential for extremely shitty roads. It's a Christmas market as well. And I'm like, so that means that like we're limited then on when we can do Christmas tree and Christmas photos. So I'm just like, I think for the next few years, Christmas markets are just like not it right now. Maybe as I expand a little bit more into the like accessories portion of this stuff, but it is still a time crunch. I'm also debating if I want to apply for Calgary Cat Festival, so last year I did it because it was like a month after Knit City. This year it's 2 weeks before Knit City Vancouver, and I'm like, do I want to take the time out of my sewing schedule to go do a show? And I'm like leaning very heavily to no, unfortunately. I really want to do the show again, but I'm like, it's just such shitty timing for it for me. It's like, damn it. Right in like prime sewing season. As you know, that is when it's going to be like the really big push for Knit City is that last couple of weeks. We're chugging along right now. I'm pretty happy with the fact that like we're chugging along. I doubt that I'll sell out at any of these other shows. If you're coming to Dawson, come sell me out. But like, I also feel like taking 2 days and selling stock 2 weeks before one of my largest show of the year is probably a stupid idea. So that's where I'm leaning right now. Okay. Unless I go and I have like a crap ton of like just specialty products like catnip kickers and stuff like that, I guess. But that also then becomes an issue of like, okay, so that's a completely new product and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Does it really matter right now? Not really. We've got Dawson to worry about. Oh no, I clipped too. God damn. It's like caught the bag underneath. Damn it. Come here. No. Yeah. Oh, are we all fucked up? We're all fucked up. Okay. Get. You gotta get down there again. Thank you. Okay, we're good. I think. Are we good? We're good enough. Okay. My nose is itchy. Fabric fluff, probably. Fabric dust. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, right? It's like, when it's prep time, it's like, shit. I think that'll be a biannual event for me. Yeah, like every 2 years sort of thing. So, that's fine. It's one of those shows that feels like it'll be like consistent. I did not do insanely well at it, so that's part of it too. If I had done insanely well at it, this would be a different discussion. Well, it wouldn't even be a discussion. I would have just gone and done it. But it's one of those situations where it's like, I don't think it's good enough to compromise Knit City prep. At the same time though, it's like, okay, would I sell that amount extra at Knit City if I don't go? There's that too. But no, never mind. That's like one of the few weeks where I can like well, Dallas is home, so it is the week where I can like head down and he can just, like, the kids are just his. So we'll be in kindergarten by that point, which will be interesting, and all of that. I guess I need to look at the gymnastics schedule and see if any of the dates or times for that fit into the schedule as well. We're not going to do it again we're not going to do it in like the spring, like our New Year session. We would do the fall session, not the winter session. There we go, because we like all signs are still pointing towards Japan, obviously. So it's like, all right. But we're busy on our normal day, that like on the Thursday now, because we've got kindergarten. So I don't know if it's in the cards for this year, at least for the eldest or the youngest, because childcare. Or if we'll just pause. Yeah, exactly. Different products would be needed. I could do like, again, it would be if I can ramp up the lifestyle products sort of more. I think that would be better. So it'll depend. I'm saying this like they would still have availability in September. I don't know if they would. But I don't think this is the year to do it. I think this is the year to just focus in on Vancouver. So, get out of here. She buzz. So there's that nice like golden mustard color. So yeah, I think we got a good mix of colors right now, because we finished a bunch of those bright bags for Hanami, which is good too. So I got to make sure that, so this will be a 20-foot booth set up for Dawson, which means that I'll have like the ability to put shelving up on the actual grid wall. So that's what we'll put the Kato on. And then the shelf space that I use in the smaller ones would be, I think we'll put the like upcycled obi, the framed obi artwork. Oh, I think that might need to be gold. There is no gold on this bag, but the black is like, oh yeah, there we go. You need something to like perk it up a little bit. Oh shit, we need to cut all the... Okay, so after this and sewing the interiors, we need to go in and cut more leather. Oh, this one with the like... Oh, the Shibas. Yes, I love that fabric. I love the color of that one. And the texture on it's really good too. But those bunnies are so good. So custom orders will be worked on, because I've got another one as well. they'll be worked on in between these two shows probably. Maybe. Or they might be May long, actually. Actually, yeah. They'll be post Odafest right now. One more. One. Oh, no, two more. Never mind. Lies. Lies. Okay. My voice just wandered out of the room without my knowledge. It's like, see you later, lady. More coffee. Okay, where are we at? 11 a.m. and we've been on for just over an hour. Perfect. All right, so yeah, so we're cranking along pretty decently, all things considered, because the next step will be finishing up. So we'll do the side seams for these small box bags. I'm just trying to hold it in the brain, because we all know the babies ate the brain. Hold it in the brains. Go. Bloop. Okay. Scowly owlies. I don't know why they're scowly, but they're totally scowly owlies. Oh, Jesus. Lace weight. That makes sense, though, because honestly, lace weight is like one of the best bangs for your buck. Of like, you're able to knit. It takes so long to knit. Which is why I don't knit it. I think I've actually destashed all of my lace weight at this point. Or at least most of it. I do have some lace weight I have reserved for a really cool cardigan. In all my spare time, of course, I will knit it. But, yeah. Did you have a plan for what she's going to make with it next? Like I said, and yeah. Speaking of destash, that is actually another thing we should do. Actually, that's what I should try and get Dallas to focus in on this staycation, is like sorting through some of the storage boxes and getting shit out of the house. Or at least, like, again, I don't care if we keep it, but what I do care about is we need to know what we have. And I am no paragon of like decluttering, but like, there's boxes in the garage of stuff to display that he should just bring in and display, because we've got display space. And that's part of it too, is I want to be able to plan out if we need to like put up more shelves or anything like that, because we have a lot of wall space we can utilize. And why not? It's our house. 11 bead. Wow. I have one. I knit one for our wedding. I adore it. And there's like two others I would love to do. The other one the number one I would love to do is the Celestarium. And it's like you knit it and you beat it based on the constellations in your hemisphere. Really want that one. Again, in all my spare time. The portion for this, though, is even with like going to the knitting events, it's like, when do you wear it? So you put all this time in it, and then like, I don't know, and hell, wear it around doing laundry. I don't care. That's not what I would personally do with it. But they can also be really hard to wear, because it's just like they're so large, or they can be large. The Celestarium is what I'm thinking of, like how large it is. It's because it's a pie shawl, so it's circular, and then basically what you have to do is like fold it in half so it doesn't drag on the ground, sort of thing. All right, I've got a few more leather, a few more to cut down, not too bad. I'm going to pop them back in the drawer for now because we're not going to do it right now. We'll see how many we actually end up needing because we do have a good portion actually already trimmed here, as you can see. These bags being here, or these drawers being here, have been so good. This, like, I think this studio iteration is the best one yet. Hands down so far. There's like a few things that, like, if I had the money to do, I would still do. I would still love to swap out the shelving. So I don't know, maybe we will still do that when we do the flooring. Because I still think the Billy bookshelves would fit in here better. But, you know, we're good. Like, this space is still extremely functional. Or at least I want Dallas to put doors on the shelves because I hate having to pull out. Like, I want to open the door and see my fabric. That is the one thing I don't like about how the fabric is set up right now. Having to, like, pull out every goddamn fabric bin. And he's like, well, just, like, make up chalk labels. And I'm like, yeah, but that also takes time. And, like, wah, wah, on the whole, like, inspiration wall sort of thing. Wah, wah. Totally a Pingu noise. Okay, I need to pee. Yeah, that's a good choice. And then we'll come back down and we'll sew the side seams on the Kato. And then once those are done, we can go in and make the interiors up as well. I just realized I'll have to track down the interiors. We're good. I'll be back before I panic. All right, so it's 11:30. So I snagged my lunch while I was upstairs. So I'll be back again in a few minutes once I've actually consumed it. Okay, we're back. Thank you for your patience. I was like upstairs being like, oh, it's like 11:15. It's stupid to like go downstairs, sew for 15 minutes, and then be like, oh, it's lunchtime. So I was just like, fuck it, let's get lunch while we're up here. And then I'll go back up and I will make coffee in a couple hours. And that'll be the next kind of scheduled break time. Unless my belly goes, hell no, that's a bad idea, woman. Because, you know, some days we do. Yep, we're going to be crazy today and just actually trim, not crazy, but like, you know, a little bit unhinged. You're like, and that's different how? Anyway, let's go in and trim the wedges on all of these as well, because then what we can do is we can just zip, zip, and up the other side, and then these like exteriors are done except for logo and wedging. Shit, I've got a couple boxes to put scraps in, so I need to pack those over the next couple days, which means I need to actually get into the, into the, whatever the fuck you call it, the laundry baskets that are currently the storage things. We will not fit all the scraps into the boxes that I have, but at least a couple are better than none, so. I have a plan now for a lot of the excess jean fabric, specifically the back pockets of the jeans, so that's exciting. It's in the works right now, so I can't really talk about it, but I was happy to figure it out. And yeah. There are many plans afoot for like... Many plans afoot for the summer. I read that, Wendy, and I'm like, whose underwear are we pulling up to give them a wedgie? Oh my god. Okay. I don't... Yep. Never mind. We're gonna... let's box the edges. There we go. Oh god. Wedgies. Oh, all right. Well, I am entertained. Oh, this might have needed to be a smaller wedge. Oh, well, we have committed. Because it is infinitesimally, well, it's about 1.5 inches smaller than the normal bags because the obi aren't as wide. Good God, I was sniffly because of that soup, I think. But, yeah, not too bad. Whatever, we'll keep the same wedge. It's fine. We'll survive. These are experimental anyway. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, but it does make sense to give them to do the box edges now before everything else, because then I can just back stitch at the corners and we can just chain piece everything. I just forgot that that is an integral step to the prep. I wonder if I could do like 2 at a time. Let's see if we can do 2 at a time, because honestly, I'm already bored. And we know what happens when I get bored. I'm like, let's fuck these products that I know will sell and go do something else. Although actually I did sell almost half of the luggage tags the other day out of 9. But for like, just being like, all right, let's do this. I'm happy with that, so. Okay, actually, no, we will just leave that naturally lined up. Those are lined up. Can my shears get through it? That is actually the question here, is do the shears cut through it? I think they said that we had like one of the highest turnouts. We're in election season for us right now too. I'm pretty sure if you've been listening for a while, you know how I'm voting. But Carney. I voted for Carney. I doubt that our Liberal candidate will get in this district because, honestly, our current MP for the Conservatives can phone it in and he still gets voted back in time and time again. So, anyway, but I think they are saying that they had like one of the highest advanced polls turnout ever this year. So that's super interesting, and I'm curious now to see how that, like, where are we going to be on election day? So election day is on the 28th. We will find out. There's a whole bunch of fucking conspiracy theories flying around right now because they have pencils. It's how you vote. And because someone pointed out, it's like pencils don't dry out between election periods, and they keep the pencils so that you can, like, it's less of a waste. And you can bring your own pen if you so desire. It's just, there's just a bunch of fear mongering right now. So that's just where we're at. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, we'll see. I am really hoping it's Carney. Trudeau had to step down because he was done, is part of it. Carney is really exciting, though, because he actually did run the Bank of Canada during the 2008 recession. And so having a strong financial background would be fucking amazing right now. Plus a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, grump, grump, grump. I'm done. It's like because of course it's like with the US being our closest neighbor and all of that, it's not our election, obviously. It impacts us as it impacts global citizens a lot. But basically it feels like we've been under a political, like, news or election news feed for like 3 years now, and I'm like, I'm done. It's just, ugh. And we'd have our provincial elections coming up. I know, right? Seriously, it's important. Not their platforms, not the fact that Carney has a, like, extremely strong economic platform. Nothing that the Conservative leader, like, completely unhinged from my point of view, what they're saying during their campaign period. And if you say that they're just saying that to please their, like, voters, yeah. And that's the more terrifying part. And we see what happens when it's just like, well, they're just doing it to please their voter base. We have a prime example just south of us right now. So pissed off. Anyway. Then 2 more years to the provincial election, and oh my God, that. Oh. As long as we, yeah. As long as we survive everything else. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. I'm very nervous about this one. I wasn't as nervous about it, excuse me, in 21. When it was funny because it's like, well, that's the thing. You think, like, okay, so they make all their campaign promises and, like, realistically, you assume that they're not going to follow through on everything. But then you have such a prime example in, like, in the States right now of you think that they're probably lying, but they follow through on exactly what they say they're going to do. So you have to take them at face value. And yeah, anyway. Vote. Here's the thing. I don't actually care how you vote. I know how I'm voting. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind because that's not my job. Vote for, but I think this vote session, vote for who's going to serve the country the best. Because most of the time it's like vote for the candidate that's going to serve your riding best, right? Which makes sense. But it's like, I think this year you have to vote for the party that's going to serve, you think is going to serve the country best. I obviously have my opinions on it, very strong opinions on it. It's Carney. I don't want to be the 51st state. It's terrifying for me right now. And here's the thing, though, at the same time, if you do have an NDP incumbent or something like that, like, then vote them back in if that is who's been serving your district the best. But we are trying not to vote split to the best of our ability. So, yeah, vote for the least worst. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is it's like, as much as it's the Liberal Party, Mark Carney is going to like be running it extremely differently from Trudeau and whoever like predecessors from before that, blah, 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 blah. So, whatever. Anyway, we'll find out in less than a week. I am on the same level of like, I'm extremely nervous about this. I am also extremely glad that we only had a 5-week election cycle. Like, people have been talking about it for a couple of years now because politics, it always gets talked about, right? Like, we didn't have to listen to anyone campaign for months. At the same time, though, it is a little bit annoying because it hasn't allowed the candidates any time to really get around. So, whatever. Yeah, I know, right? 35 days. It's the shortest period of, like, it's the shortest amount of time that you can do for an election period in Canada. And Carney had to call it because it was like, okay, so Trudeau stepped down, Carney got elected, he was in office for a week, and then he called the election because that's just how it goes. And now we'll see what happens. Yeah, I can't imagine having to deal with like months of campaigning. Well, we hear a lot of it anyway. It's, again, not our election. But yeah, we just finished basically the US elections. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm done. Toast. Toasty toast. No more. Just like, get this guy, get whoever's in, and deal with it afterwards. We have the G7 actually happening in Kananaskis country this summer, so that's going to be interesting. The last G7 is actually when, or at least the last one that I witnessed was in Japan, of all places. They're in Hiroshima, like the week before, week before we were actually at Miyajima, they were there. So Caroline and I went, I didn't even know the G7 was happening, and I definitely didn't know it was happening in Japan. And it was like, weird, there's like a shit ton of security, like presence. I've never seen this much security in the train stations in Japan. Like, you know that there's security and there's police around and all of that, but this was like, I am standing on a box being very obvious, watching out over the crowd. Anyway, we found out that it was the G7 when we were down in Hiroshima area. And it's like, oh. Because the other thing that they did is they closed all the lockers in Kyoto and everything like that. Because I was like, well, why are all the lockers closed? Makes sense. But, like, it was... And there was helicopters in Tokyo. And I'm like, I have never heard a helicopter in Tokyo. Because it wasn't a small copter either. And I'm like, I just, like, explained everything. Anyway, the G7 is going to be in Kananaskis country this summer. So, in June, I guess? I don't know. We won't be in the area. We will be in the area, but we'll be down south in Blairmore for Dallas's Minitar race. Oh, I got told about a really cool one. We're not going to do it this year because of the Minitar, but it's the Solstice Run, and it's expensive because it's a 5K. It's expensive, but you get a pair of shoes, and the medal is fucking cool. What you do is you start the race at like 9:05 at night. But because it's the solstice, your goal is actually to try and cross the finish line at sunset. I don't know when sunset is, but like, what a cool concept. If I'd known about it earlier, we would have been doing that one instead, because it's actually on my birthday this year too. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Anyway, we parked it for this year, but we definitely, like, it's on the list for next year, depending on how everything goes. Not that I really need a pair of shoes. I wish there was an option without the shoes in some ways, because then I would just sign up for it. But they're New Balance shoes, and I'm like, New Balance doesn't fit me very well. I guess you could always get them and like resell them or something like that. There's that. But yeah, the woman who told me about it, she was like, well, it's pretty expensive. And I was like, well, the price of it is actually cheaper than the shoes new at most places. So I was like, okay, that's not that bad. Plus you get the metal and you get the, like, yeah, all the experience and everything like that. So next year. Although I don't think solstice is on my birthday next year. It like goes on and off of it because it's June 20th. Spring, summer, Cancer, Gemini. I'm the cusps of everything. Okay, this one I did pull the faces one because I need to interface this like line up here. There isn't anything up here. And that is like a high stress point because it's the drawstring. So we're just punting that. We're getting to the ones that I was clipping today. So we're past halfway, I would say, at this point, which is awesome. Cutting, doom, 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 doom. Okay. Cut, seam, coffee, iron. Right? Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Coffee, or no. Caffeine's on the brain. Seam, and what I mean, and also seaming means get the zippers done for the small box bags. Coffee, iron. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good sequence of events. It's not the worst sequence of events we've had. Those notions pouches are practically done. They just need finishing seams. Yeah, I think we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Enough fluffing. Shh. I think we've been pretty streamlined. We've definitely had worse sessions. Like I said, this is honestly, besides probably like freaking out about the zippers, this has been one of the smoother sewing preps we've had, which I will take. Actually, yeah, that gives me a chance. So after the iron and while I'm making coffee, that gives me a chance to also take a look at that YouTube video quick, just to confirm how we're doing the small box bags. Oh shoot, we need to trim up and get pull tabs done. Yeah. From the twill tape. Blah, 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 blah. Probably could have used a coffee with lunch, but oh well. Alright, so that should be 17. I wonder if I can cut 3 at a time. No, that's going to hurt my hands too much to do 3 at a time. But actually, the other part of this is that if, dependent on how everything goes, just like trying to plot out tonight, because it's like now plans have changed. So I'll also have some extra work time because I'll go take the kids to a park. So I wonder how I should what I should take, basically. Itchy band. Go into the city for the run. Playground, because there is a decent playground across from where I'm thinking. Yeah, well, I'll definitely take the notions pouches to wrap up tonight. What I'm thinking is if we get the small box bags prepped, it'll either be I'll take small box bags to turn. I don't think we're going to get the wedging done today. That's the thing. Yeah, no, we won't get the wedging done today. That's fine. All I was thinking is it's like we could do that, and then I could like turn the small box bags. But we'll see where we're at. Who knows? It's only noon. I've got like not quite 5 hours left. Not super important because wait. Oh. Okay. Nothing super important. Just trying to beat Instagram algorithms. Ugh. That soup is like still making my sinuses like all right. I'm extremely tempted to find out if we can like stop in Edmonton on the way home and go test some cylinder arm machines. Because there is a sewing machine shop there, and I'm like, It's not on the cards right now still, but I'm like, my big thing is I would like to know the difference between like a Juki and an off-brand Juki, essentially. Although I did see, actually, someone asked specifically in a leather crafting group I'm in the other day about like used machines or a Texo, which is the other brand I'm looking at. And there was a resounding like hell fucking yes to the Texo. So I'm like, okay, well that's good to know. Like people talking about being able to do like, they've had Texos for like 50 years and stuff like that. Because my big hesitation with the Texo versus the Juki is the Juki has been around for a long time and they obviously have a succession plan, parts-wise. That's the big thing. Whereas I didn't know how long Texo had really been around, but apparently long enough. So, yeah, someone was like, maybe not 50 years, but they've had like machines running for like 40 years and they're perfectly fine. I'm like, okay, so that's like a resounding fuck yes to them, at least. And they're like under half the price, even with a binding foot attachment. So, because that's one of the big upgrades that would have for us. And if you're like, Katie, you don't use binding, I have projects coming up using binding, and it would be extremely useful. And we've got a space for it, like right here. It would go right where this desk is in front of the window as well. And then that desk right there could just view out into the room. That's fine. Would it block the space a little bit? Yes. Am I okay with that? Yes. Or I'll just get a straight desk for that wall under the postcards. So my hands are getting cranky on the metal scissors. Hands are getting cranky from metal scissors. It's okay. We're almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Done, done, done. Almost done. Almost done. I have no fucking clue. I think they're the same size. What industrial machine actually has a larger bobbin? I do not know. But that is a good question. Actually, yeah, you're right. Between like the two options. But $3,200 versus like $8,000. I will take the smaller bobbin. Yeah, we'll take the smaller bobbin for 500. Thanks, Alex. Right? Like, Jesus. If I come across the Juki secondhand again, I will reconsider it again, though. So that's part of it. Like, again, we're not in a huge rush. It's not a necessity. Would be a nice to have. Also, the other thing is the walking foot would be nice, actually. So it's not just the cylinder arm, but having the walking foot would be good too, because the OB bags are starting to fight on the machine. And those Sheena. Damn Sheena. We would still keep this, because I still hear that even with the flat bed attachment, it's a pain in the butt. Because it's like, then you have to swap it in and out and in and out. And like, yeah, it only takes a few minutes. But we all know how much I hate just swapping thread colors. So we'll keep the flat deck for sure. And do I regret just getting a flat deck originally? Hell no. I needed the machine. But my needs have also changed since I bought the flat deck 12 years ago. So it's been doing a good job. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. 2, 4, 5 left. 5 left. I think the big thing with the bobbins is whether it's side load or top load. And we definitely, pretty sure this is what would be considered a side load. I would definitely consider a side load before I consider a top load again. I've never had an industrial with a top load. But that's what most domestic machines are, and that's what my brother is. It's still running. It's still my backup machine. So, there's that. I'm still shocked that there is like, well, okay, never mind. There was an industrial machine seller in Calgary. They never responded to their emails, though, when I emailed them about the Juki, because they were actually who was suggested by Olds College. And then now they're closed. Not shocking, given that they didn't answer their emails, but like, come on. Okay, yeah, front load. So basically, that I wonder if that's like same idea as like they would still call that a side load, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why I'm lecturing you on bobbins. You know the difference. But I guess for anyone else watching who is not familiar with different bobbins. Oh, God. Okay, we can do this like once, but we could not have done this for all of these. Guess that would have killed my hand. Anyway, there's the last 3. One more wedge, and then we get to sewing. Sewing. I'll let my machine, the control box, turn on, warm up, whatever the hell we want to call it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, these are extremely offset, so let's make sure that they're actually like aligned on the side here, just because the canvas is like offset. So we're going to make sure that even if it's offset, at least it's offset the correct amount. Okay, so they all line up with this top guy, because this is all excess canvas here. And that they're straight, or straight-ish at least. There we go. That's better. Trim, trim, trim. Cut, cut, cut. I really need to go get these sharpened. Oh, God. There's fabric dust everywhere. God damn. Okay. Done. Whee! All the way around. All the way around. I over Dario, all the way around. Okay, I'm going to assume, rightly so, that there's also selvage on this side, which means that we're going to go in a little bit up here. Nope, we definitely did not catch that correctly. I see that. So we'll fix it now so I don't have to worry about it later. It's only this side though, it looks like. Yeah, we're definitely good there. Okay. Next. Here we go. Here we go. Doom, 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 doom. I love it when it's just like we can just like zoom. Zoom. Love it. Adore it. Fantastic. 10 out of 10 recommend. Got very concerned there for a minute that we'd run out of like thread, and I'm like, oh no, we're good. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off because they are being a bit of a pain in the butt today. We're just like flumping off the back here. And yes, that is the sound they make, flump. So I think we'll do like every 2 or something like that. Obikato, finally, we're getting Obikato finished up. Look at me, working on whips that have been here for like a year. Actually, the coup for this summer will be finishing those Sheena. And then I could cut new Sheena that actually are like correctly done. These ones are correctly done, but we need to go in and like interface them correctly because high learning curves. Now I know why Fusible's used. Boom, 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 boom. Obikato, Obikato. Oh, that one is not, well, okay, it's clipped on one layer, but not both layers. La 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 la. Cappuccinos, cappuccinos. This is the nice, bright, cheery lime green. Actually, it's brighter than lime green. I would like maybe spring grass green, I think is usually like what the Crayola color is. Green, yellow. I don't know. It's gorgeous. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's gorgeous. Don't run over the actual D-ring. Success. It was like under the seam allowance. It's like, you get out of here. We don't need you. breaking my needle. Okay, so after this, when we're ironing them, that's when we'll split them into the brown, black leather piles. I'll have to clear the cutting table off a bit so that we can trim down more black leather strapping. And then, yeah, that makes sense. So when we're ironing, trim down for the colors. Caroline's still chatting. We need to finish the pockets and the interiors for these. Oh, black leather, and also we need counts on paw print or no paw print. That webbing is crooked. Zoop. There we go. Yeah, paw prints or not paw prints. It's pretty easy. Is it a cat fabric? Yes, paw prints. Is it a dog fabric? Yes, paw prints. Is it a neither of the above? Perfect. Marble prints. Easy. We're making it easy. That's what we're doing. And then the Obi ones already have their interiors sewn, and they have the black twill, and then the interior are kimono pockets, so that's exciting too. I'm excited. I'm glad those are finally done. Or they're not done, but they will. They're in the lineup to be finished. This is the bright pink cappuccino. And we just ran out of thread, of course. Doom 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 doom. Alrighty. Get it as close as possible. Okay. Interiors and ironing, interiors and ironing. That's what we got left. That's what we got left. Ding, 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 ding. I think that's a realist. I think getting all of these ironed, so labeled, and getting the small box bags ready for top stitching is probably. If we get anything else besides that done before I need to head out, it'll be like gravy. This is the mashed potatoes right now, the base. Could I do the Kato interiors instead of the small box bags? Yes, but I don't want to forget that I have to put the labels on. So I think taking the shift and going to ironing is like a good call. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. It's not the worst call. I have made worse calls. Well, Is there any? I don't know. Wind the bobbin. Woo. Wind the bobbin. Just like I could not catch the thread. It was like whoop, 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 whoop. I'm on a Ferris wheel. The kids are utterly obsessed with Ferris wheels right now. Just like they keep asking to ride a Ferris wheel. So I was like, okay, we will do a Ferris wheel at Stampede this year. Because they always set up a big Ferris wheel. Because the plan is right now we're going to go do the parade. And then we're going to get them like all day ride tickets. As long as they apply to kids. So then they can, because they should be tall enough to do the rides without a parent, hopefully. Or just generally tall enough to do the rides. Because it's like quite tall to be able to do them. And we weren't prepared last year for doing rides, so. And then we'll do like a cool down session in the afternoon and then chuck wagon races at night. Excited. It's very interesting because the previous sponsor for chuck wagons is always the GMC Rangeland Derby. Last year it's the Cowboys, which is like the casino on the grounds. And then this year it's like Play Alberta, which I think is the Lottery Commission. All right. I can't imagine how much money it actually takes to support this thing. Because like the top prize dropped. It used to be a $100,000 jackpot at the end for like the fastest race on Sunday. But, or at least the fastest wagon in the ninth heat. But there's been a lot of changes. I don't think chuck wagons racing is going to be around for much longer. It's expensive to like, horse racing in general is, but chuck wagon is, I think, even more in some ways, because like you have to have 2 sets of horses to race Stampede, because they won't let you there's a bunch of checks and balances to make sure that the horses don't get injured. That's basically it. A lot of these horses are rescued thoroughbreds from the racing industries, because if you can't race with a jockey because you got raced too young, you can pull a wagon with a team of 4, typically. So there is that, but it's just like, there's not a lot of new blood coming in because it's got a high cost entry point. Stampede is like only the best of the best. So there is like smaller events which will probably stick around longer. But it's interesting to watch the shifts that have happened even since I was a kid. I'm not complaining. There's been a lot of really good shifts for like safety, for drivers, for riders, for horses, for wagons, blah, 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 blah. So they used to have what was called a tent poles and have a tarp in between them and the stove. And the stove went into a rack in the back of the wagon, and the tent poles went into the wagon. Right? Because you pitched your tent and now. So the whole concept behind the chuck wagon race is who could get back to camp fastest. You know 100% this was done as a drunk bet one night. But yeah, you had to chuck the stove in. So the issues there being that the stove rack hung out the back of the wagon. Horses would step on the stove rack. That was one of the first things that went. The tent and the tent poles. And granted, like, and it's still, they still throw the stove in, but it goes into the full box now instead of into the stove rack that's hanging off the back of the wagon. What was the other thing? They got rid of the tent and the tent poles. So we're down to actually 2 outriders versus 4. Because again, if you didn't get the tent and tent poles in, there's another stepping hazard for the horses. So that was those are the big 2 that I remember. So Calgary used to race 4 wagons across. Now it only races 3, again, for safety reasons. And actually, you know what, thinking about it, probably because it's cheaper too, in some ways. I bet you the insurance on it went up And I bet you that that was the only way that they could actually entice sponsors to come back, is that they wouldn't have to pay out so much day money. GMC does still sponsor the actual like grandstand though, which is interesting. So it's probably a better move on their part. And I think this is the year to take the kids for some rodeo finally as well. As long as it's like good weather on September long, Cochrane has like a rodeo. I don't like the Stampede rodeo very much because it's really like far away. It's actually better on TV than it is in the stands. But small town rodeo is where it's at, I think. It was very funny going. So we went to took a couple friends. I'd never been to chuck wagon races to Strathmore, which is like a smaller town just outside Calgary. It was the weekend that like lined up for us, for everyone. And I hadn't been to any small town chuck wagon races, and it was quite funny watching like how PC like everyone's all up in arms about Stampede. Always so many protesters about it. But yeah, there was like the PC-ness of Stampede compared to this was nuts. We actually saw people racing with the poles. And here I am standing with someone who's never seen, they've seen people that have never watched chuck wagon races. And I'm like, yeah, let's go to the chuck wagon races. I did not know that they had running with the bulls. The bulls were not in any way harmed. I don't think anyone was injured or mauled. But it's just like I'm standing there and one of the friends is vegetarian and I'm just like, all right, here we are, let's strap in. And then there's a whole bunch of joking about child brides of like, obviously they were adults, but there must have been like a mad age gap or something like that. And like, it was just like, okay, it's good racing still. I would go back. Oh, but it was just like, holy shit, this is not what I had in my brain. Oh, Alberta. You are definitely wild. Although I do know that a lot of our rodeo contestants do come from Oz. So that's super cool. I wonder who's going to come actually this year. So we usually end up with a lot of Brazilians, which makes sense actually. A lot of Australians, and of course US and Canadian. I would love eventually to get down to the NFR, which is National Finals Rodeo in Vegas, but I know it's expensive and etc. Well, that's the thing. They fucking adore their animals. So like some of the safety precautions that Stampede has brought in, like none of what I'm saying is actually a criticism of anything that's happening. Has a lot of this been paid in blood? Yes. So they've brought measures in for things that they could have never anticipated. There we go. That's what it's at. And here's the thing. Those horses are making these people money. If you have a horse who is in ill health, they are not going to make you money. Like, just bluntly. That is the main thing. And then the other part of it is like, just, yeah, the fact that they adore their horses. Or whatever. And if they weren't, like, again, most of these guys are thoroughbred rescues. If they were not taking these horses off the racetracks, they would be glue. Flat out. So it's just like, for all these people protesting, I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. Whatever. I get it. The racing industry is extremely brutal. Chuck wagon racing is not as brutal. Or is not brutal, I would argue. These horses are bred to run. And if you're going to protest anything, at least go fucking protest the correct thing. Like, come on. Go to the racetracks. That's where you should be. Not Stampede. Anyway, that's my other little soapbox. Like, protest the great goddamn thing. But here's the thing. Even if you invite people out who believe these things, typically, people hold their own beliefs. So I still argue, yeah, it's like, from the fact alone that these horses are making the money, they're going to take good care of them, because any athlete or human or animal is not going to perform well if they're not well taken care of. Flat out. So they do. That's why we domesticated them. Like, seriously. And on the same foot, like, I agree at the same time. It's like, don't get a border collie if you don't have work for it, right? Don't get a horse if you don't have work for it. That's cruel. So that's what's cruel and inhumane. It's just, yeah. Anyway, back to sewing. My boss has me under worse work conditions than those horses. That's for damn sure. I saw a joke the other day. It's like, do horse people get, like, do they not like hearing, like, beating a dead horse and stuff like that? Like those phrases like that. And someone's like, no, I don't take offense to that, because it's true. What I do take offense to is healthy as a horse, because basically anything can make a horse sick. And they proceeded to list off like 12 things in the one Instagram comment. I used to be around horses. We actually had very healthy on hail horses. I would never want another horse. They were my parents, technically, and my brothers. I was a horse girl when I was younger, but they're expensive. And, like, again, we didn't have any work for them. So what, like, they got rode maybe, like, once a year sort of thing. But Dad did have an absolutely spectacular Appaloosa called Applejack. Black and white spotted hind and everything like that. Yeah, stuff like that, right? Like, but no, that was not what they took offense to. They took offense to as healthy as a horse. I had to laugh at that. It was funny. Anyway. Yeah. Apparently it's a soapbox day. Sorry. Not really, but kinda. I kind of still want to do like a whole circuit of the chuck wagon. So there's 2 chuck wagon associations in this area. There's WPCA, which is World Professional Chuck Wagon Association. And there's CPCA, which is the Calgary, Canada Pacific Chuck Wagon Association. And I kind of want to follow one of them. They actually have a track up in Dawson Creek, but their races aren't until August. So we were like 1 week too early when we went up for just the social visit a couple years ago. So I was like, damn it! Should have come 2 weeks later so that we could see the chuck wagon races. But then, you know, that it would have been busier, so whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? Maybe 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, we're over halfway. 20, it's only 12:30, sweet. Please just make this smooth and easy. Please, 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 please. let's just continue on. This is just like smooth as butter. I'm realizing that we don't have a lot of groceries in the house, and I'm like, we don't want to like stock up on a crap ton right before we leave, but we might want, well, we're going to need to probably I guess we could always do Costco on the way home. There's Costco in Balzac. Or we just go on Tuesday. Yeah, just go on Tuesday. But I'm like, oh, we're almost out of bread. Oh. Actually, yeah, we probably should go get some bread and some like bologna or something like that so we can pack sandwiches on Saturday. Yeah, that's what we should do. Or even peanut butter and jelly or something. I don't know. Bread. Go get bread. And then we can make tacos on Friday night if we don't make them tomorrow night. And that mostly gets used up between the 4 of us, so that's good. Actually, yeah, so we need some sour cream and some lettuce for that. Oh no. That's fine. Boom, 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 boom. 19, 19, 19. Oh God, great. Never mind. Stretch break. It's like, wait, I'm slumping and I shouldn't be slumping as bad as I am. That like body checking where you're like, ooh, and suddenly like, wait, this is terrible. Try not to have to go back to physio, Katie. Actually, the best way not to go back to physio is I should go do some more. I gotta get back to my strength training. Oh my God. Next week. Next week. I know, but it's not happening this week. Having a hard enough time justifying 2.25 hours for my 10-mile run tomorrow. It's like, damn it. Oh well. Get her done. Ooh, no, get under that. Thank you. Or over that, not under it. There we go. Clip this off, clip this off, clip this off. Oh God, I just remembered how much work it is that we gotta actually still do for the, like, to get them smashed together too. Yeah. What? 17, I think. I've already lost count. I've lost count. I think it's 17. 17 left. Mountains are looking particularly spectacular today. They got that fresh coat of snow. There's sun shining on them. Love it. Sixteen. I want a nap. I want a nap. No naps for me. Actually, what we should do before Odafest is make sure that I've got enough. I've been selling the straps for the Kato bags recently. I'm like, what? Oh, I ran out of thread. God damn. Straps for the Kato. Yeah, so we got to make sure that I'll go in and I'll check to make sure that I've got enough webbing straps for Odafest, because I feel like marketing these as a crossbody bag is probably where it's at for that show. Well, obviously, because it's not a knitting show. But we'll do that. And I think what we'll do is I'll just add the strap on in general. And the price tag will just include the strap, sort of thing. I think that's the best way to do it. And then we can always like take it off. But showing people how to use the bag is generally better than just making them guess. That's what I find. It makes sense, right? So don't make people guess as best I can. I did find the elastic, so I'm also going to make sure that we got some, maybe not for Odafest, but in general. We need some more planner pouches. They're not selling like hotcakes or anything, but they're not doing poorly either. So it's like one of those, okay, we'll stock them up probably once a year or so. And then we'll go on from there. Actually, yeah, you know what? We're not going to do any... Well, we'll do Shindig. I think that's the last show for the year, if they'll have me, which I'm assuming they will. I don't see why they wouldn't. But, we'll do that. That'll be the last show. And then we'll spend the last couple months of the year doing taxos. Goddamn taxes. Or, like, as much as I can, sort of thing. And prepping all the things, because we'll have to sew quite a bit for spring before we go to Japan in February. Because you can't tell me that I'm gonna, like, I'll only have March. And not even all of March. And I don't know how the kids are gonna react to the jet lag either. So, because basically I lose a full month just by going to Japan this time. So, oh no, cat problem. Yeah, so that's what I should spend the end of year doing, is prepping for 26. At least the first, like, through April. And then we'll see how this, like, this pause in the middle here goes, and then continue from there, sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. And my friend Tara said she's more or less confirmed. It sounds like they're doing Ireland next year, not Japan. So next year is supposed to, we're currently looking at like a double trip. So one in February and then another in October. So, because I was like, okay, well, if you're going to go, then we'll go in like plan for November. Because November's a way better month to go as a tourist because of the, like, go see the Momiji sort of thing. But if she's not going, then I'll go in October because it's far cheaper. At least it was last year when I was pricing it out. So, yay. La, 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 la. Oh, I did get to talk to someone who's taken the direct flight with WestJet to Japan, and apparently the food is horrendous, which is actually corroborates, lines up with what I've heard other people talk about. So I'm like, okay, that's good to know, actually. Because here's the thing, like, Air Canada doesn't have that bad of food. And honest to God, WestJet does not have the best reputation right now. Yay, private equity firms. Sarcasm. I don't know. Not like they don't, well, private equity also owns Air Canada, but it does seem like they seem like they've come back around a little bit. I don't know. I've never had an issue with Air Canada going to international, though, and so I'm wondering if they're like, a lot of their complaints are mostly domestic complaints. Although they were the ones who messed up big time with luggage when they were like in that ramp up after COVID, or as like restrictions were lifting and stuff like that, and people were starting to travel that second, like 22, second summer sort of thing. And most places were accepting visitors again. It was just like, it was horrendous luggage delays at like Toronto and stuff like that. But that's also Toronto. I hate flying through Toronto. Like, I will specifically pay more not to fly through Toronto. Thank you very much. And it hasn't improved. They did a bunch of renovations, and it's not any better now that the renovations are done. Just like, what is going on here? I've only had to do Toronto twice in like the last 10 years, or no. Twice going down to Disney in the last 10 years. But, a couple other times. Yeah, it was one of the only ways we could fly to TNNA, which was the Needle Arts Association. National Needle Arts Association. Or Needlework Association. One of the two. It was like a big trade show done in the States a few years ago. They're pretty much done now. But, because they messed up big with COVID too. They, like, everyone was booking, of course, and then everything got canceled, and then it was just like, they weren't refunding people, and just a complete debacle. Anyway, they were kind of on the downswing before that anyway. This was just like the nail in the coffin. Anyway, we had to fly through Toronto for that because we were going to like Columbus, Ohio, and Cleveland, Ohio, and it was just easier to go through Toronto because then you get like on one of those little regional puddle hoppers to get down to Ohio. I miss those days though. Although the last one that I would have gone to was 2019, right before I got pregnant too. Like June, May, somewhere in there. June, it would have been June. Late June maybe. Whee! Around and around and around we go. The pile is diminishing. So we'll finish these up, and then I will install the other side of the zipper for the small box bags, and then it's coffee time! Coffee, coffee, coffee. And if you're concerned that I'm overcaffeinated, so am I. I totally did not catch that whole selvage, so we'll go back in and fix that right away. So I don't grump at myself later. Look at me being responsible. Being something, that's for damn sure. I don't know if it's responsible. We could argue it's not responsible, but I am something. It is something. Okay, there we go. But hey, it's not going to go into timeout right now. Who knows if it'll go into timeout later. Shh, don't tell anyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more. 7 more. So well over halfway of what I counted previously. Yay. A lot of these feel really crooked. I don't think they are. But they do feel crooked. Actually, these ones should be better than even what I did last night because I was clipping a lot of these in the bed, so I definitely had to move some of those around. But these ones should be pretty straightforward simply because I did them on like a flat, hard surface instead of juggling like 6 things in bed. Okay, 6 more, 6 more, 6 more. Da-na-na-na. Only 6. Only 6. Should have sewn with the kids more when they're little, because then if they came downstairs now, the like sewing machine would be that white noise. I found it really hard to do it though when they're itty bitty, because even in like the carrier they weren't necessarily chilled. I did work that way quite a bit, especially once the second was there, so I actually dual carriered them for probably 6 to 9 months actually. So I'd have the itty bitty on the front and I'd have the bigger guy on the back, and yeah, that worked really well because a lot of the time they would nap then, because then it'd still be a contact nap. I miss the days of napping. because then I would be able to nap. As much as it was like, oh, I don't want to do another contact nap today. It was a good pause on the day. I hated it during the time though. I didn't, not every day. Lots of the days. I did not do a good job of like giving myself up to motherhood. I hate that concept of it too. I did in certain areas because I think you have to, but not everything. Because Dallas was also like, why don't you take a pause on the business? And I'm like, well, because this is actually the best time to be doing this. And this was like 3 years ago. I was like, and because it's one of the few things I can maintain for myself. Because like it is work, but it's also creativity. Even if I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. Plus, now they're more active. It's like, oh man, what do you do with them now? They're much more cognizant of how much attention I put to the business compared to them now, I guess, as well, which doesn't help. So, one of the key things I think after this show is like I will prep for OdaFest, but it's also like reconnection time. And then I gotta figure out what we're gonna do with my eldest for her actual birthday. So they'll have their birthday party on the weekend, and then we run the marathon, but then their birthday is like after the weekend. So I'll have to figure out what we're gonna do. Last year we went to the zoo. We might do that again if it's a nice day. Don't know. Last two. It is going very, very smooth. Dun, dun. They're also just like, actually, I wonder if their birthday is, oh, it might be on a school day this year, because I think it was on Tuesday last year. Okay, but because they're actually just super excited to go to school on their birthday. They must do something like big for the birthdays there or something in general. Should find out if we can like send some peanut-free cupcakes or something in. What the hell happened there? No, so smooth and then suddenly not so smooth. Oh, so rough. Okay. Ugh. So much floof everywhere. Actually, maybe after this, I wonder if we need to change. Nope, we do not. Never mind. It's like, I wonder if we gotta change the needle. No, we're good so far. It's probably about halfway. I'm gonna say halfway because we have been doing a lot of prep work, I guess. Did I run out of like bobbin thread? Nope, bobbin's fine. It must have just like caught weird. Okay. Anyway. If it happens again, we'll swap the needle. But it did seem pretty sharp still, so. You had to take cake in. Okay. Ooh, donuts. Yeah, actually the youngest likes donuts. Maybe we'll do donuts. It's a good plan. I do like it because so the school isn't like you have to invite. There's only like one kid that's like